Dem Bones, dem bones. Why would anybody steal whole skeletons out of graveyards? Hello there. Welcome to the Harley Carnes podcast. There I am. Harley on the headlines. Really glad that you are there. Quick reminder as we get started. Please help us spread the word. Send an email to a friend. Share the link. Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you. Appreciate it. This is easily the story of the new year so far, when it comes to people's stories anyway. A Pennsylvania man is in jail charged with more than 500 crimes. He's been stealing bones out of cemeteries, plural. Police are still trying to piece it all together. The number of skeletons stolen by 34-year-old Jonathan Gerlach of Ephrata, PA. They caught him in the Mount Moriah Cemetery in Delaware County. Detectives were staking out the place because they knew someone was stealing them bones, but they could not have expected this. They found more than 100 full and partial skeletons. Bunch of skulls in his car. His basement was full of them. All kinds. Men, women, children. Even the bones of some babies. Whoa. As the DA put it, like a horror movie come to life, and they don't know why yet. Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz has got to be one of the most allegedly corrupt men in American public office. The billions of dollars taken in the Somali child and adult care fraud case goes all the way to the top, according to the investigators, and this guy doesn't even have the common decency to quit. And now he's talking about trying to send the Minnesota National Guard against ICE and Border Patrol agents as they round up illegal immigrant lawmakers. Talk about trying to change everybody's attention to something else, right? He can do that, by the way, or he could try. Governors are the commanders of their state National Guard units, unless and until they are federalized for various reasons, at which time they answer to the nation's commander-in-chief, the president. The question of federalization of state guard is stratified, a bit complicated, and it's explained in Title 10 and Title 32 and the Insurrection Act. Civil unrest is one such reason for a president to take command. And Minneapolis runs the risk of meeting that standard, particularly when city and state officials encourage the public to interfere with the work of federal law enforcers. Tim Walz turned out to be quite a piece of work, huh? 3 cheers for independent citizen journalist Nick Shirley, whose enterprising work exposed the criminality in Minnesota that has cost the state and the nation at least $9 billion estimated. Somalians who came to America and began stealing money. That's what it really is. They set up child care and adult care centers and collected money from the government to care for needy folks and just put the money in their pockets. Or they invited Somalis to come in, bring their kids, collect a kickback, and then go back home. Take the kids with you, by the way. That way they made sure the people they were supposedly helping would keep their mouths shut about what was going on. In fact, Nick Shirley says he got onto the story after hearing from Minnesotans, lots of them, that crooked stuff was afoot. So it wasn't a very good secret, in fact. And state officials have known about it for years, all the way up to the governor. Nothing happened until Nick's videos went viral. Millions of people watched. And now, one infamous center that couldn't even spell learning on its sign has permanently shut down. There will be others soon. New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani has managed to get $4.5 billion out of the state, and Governor Kathy Hochul. It is to fund the so-called free child care in New York City for 2-year-olds, just 2-year-olds, and low-priced child care for other kids under the age of 5 and down. It's not free, of course. Those billions come from the taxpayers, and 1.7 billion of it is new spending. What that means is Mamdani's free child care for 2-year-olds is funded for 2 years, and spending will have to be cut somewhere else to pay for it. And if they try to expand it statewide, and since it is state money, people all over the state might want that, it'll cost $15 billion that Albany doesn't have to pay for it. Can you spell tax hikes? And they're just getting started. Keeping track of all the crooks that these kinds of programs can and will spawn is not easy. At the federal level, the Justice Department is creating a new Assistant Attorney General to fight fraud. Should have already been there. As soon as DOJ began to identify instances of fraud in the federal government, the Attorney General's office should have been ready to investigate, shut down, and prosecute the bureaucrats and others who either participate in it or let it happen. Now, let's not be unfair. The Attorney General's office has been ready to do all those things, but through the large umbrella of the Attorney General's office, and that makes it less specific. So now, thanks to Nick Shirley's expose, it's happening, and Minnesota is just the beginning, and now the federal government will have an assistant AG who's focused on just this kind of thing. President Trump is good at deal making. Sounds like he's going to have to make some better deals with Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark than just to try to buy it, because that's not happening. They don't want to sell, and fact is, ain't no way Americans will go along with trying to take it by force. Here's why the president wants Greenland, why it would be good for the U.S. if we had it. Greenland has some of the largest and most valuable deposits of rare earth elements like lithium in the world. Hydrocarbons, also known as oil and gas, may be huge, just waiting under all that ice for a country like the U.S. to drill down and get it, sell it, be successful with it. Greenland can make a lot of money, but they don't care. I mean, Greenland may have as much untapped oil and gas as in all of the U.S. combined. That is a lot. Greenland is also believed to have diamonds, lots of diamonds, which could be mined. Complicated stuff in each case, because Greenland is cold and icy and difficult. The largest island in the world, and its lifestyle is very laid back and connected to the earth. Last thing they want to see is their natural resources plundered and the land defaced doing it. So the shortcut for President Trump was to just try to buy it. If that won't work, and it won't, then it is very clear the connection between Denmark and the U.S. needs to become rock solid, friendly as hell, and there need to be treaties, agreements that both protect Greenland from other acquisitive countries, and that will allow the U.S. to help responsibly extricate the resources. It's not going to happen overnight. President Trump is winning in Venezuela. There were some questions right after the arrest of Nicolas Maduro. Would the crooks that Maduro left behind get in line or require more attention? At the moment, they're doing the right thing. Venezuela's government has begun releasing political prisoners from Venezuela and from other countries. Don't know the number yet who are getting out, but there are plenty who should be let go. Indications are they will be. The latest number reported was just over 800. Laughing with so much joy when they get out, they're crying. Enrique Capriles is a deputy of the National Assembly. He calls it one more step toward justice and the future. You can see what's happening. The people of Venezuela are rightly crediting Donald Trump for these good things that are happening. They'll be putting up statues before long. They're already hugging pictures of the man. Among the people who've been released are some who protested in the streets over the Maduro election, which the protesters believed had been stolen. Does that sound familiar? A lot like January 6th, Maduro called it insurrection, not just protests, and jailed a lot of them. He did not jail as many as Biden did, but there are some distinct parallels, and you can't get away from them. Russia, Ukraine. Russia launched large-scale strikes against Kyiv again and other places, in Ukraine overnight. A handful of people were killed, nearly a score were injured. What's notable is not just another wave of missiles and drones, 242 drones and 35 cruise and ballistic missiles. One of the missiles was hypersonic. It was called Oreshnik Hypersonic Intermediate Range Missile. Now, what makes it interesting is speed, hyperspeed, where it gets its name. So fast, it could do serious damage just from the kinetics of velocity. Or, more importantly, those missiles can be loaded with a nuke, and they're so fast, anti-missile batteries can't do anything to really stop them. Russia has them. China has them. The U.S. has a bunch of them. Russia was probably doing some battlefield testing with the one that they shot, studying everything about it. They were shooting at Ukraine's huge underground gas storage facility in Lviv, I think you say it, near the Polish border. Don't know if they hit it. Haven't heard that they did. Russia called it all retaliation for the attack on Vladimir Putin's house. They didn't appreciate that. Every time we turn around, there are more escaped animal stories. People, you need to control your pets. I mean, come on. In South Carolina, an escaped wallaby captured himself by jumping into someone's backyard pool and couldn't get out. Had to be rescued. A sheep, which had been wandering around loose for months in Wisconsin, has finally been found and brought back to the barn. This is a sheep with big curved horns. Not a ram, it's a she. Now she's nicknamed Hilda Houdini. And in West Virginia, this dog needs a home. I mean, he's one smart hound. He's a shelter dog, and he escaped from the kennel at Huntington Cabell Wayne Animal Shelter. But this is how he escaped. He went to the front door, stood high on his hind legs, and opened the door with his mouth, then pushed the door open, and he was out of there. He's been caught, and he's good to go. What he needs is a home, no doubt about that. Well, thanks for joining us today. Really do appreciate it. We're on several platforms. The podcast is growing. I appreciate the help. Can't do it without you. It makes me feel good when you help grow it, because I can't do it alone. So please like, follow, subscribe, share the link, and, we'll do this again. I'm Harley Carnes.